so far.
Definitely not. No. Maybe they know
I
something
mean,
we
we're
don't.
one ban in, right? And Tom Kench.
When you're on match point and you're sticking to the same guns, you have something in your mind, and well, we have to see if it comes out. There's the Camille ban, as expected. Once again, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, or if it is broken, ban it.
So they're taking out Tom Kench, Rengar, Graves. Game 1 was the least ban out of Misfits Academy here because they know they'll at least get Kha'Zix or Graves at this point. Yeah, here you go, Elise off the board.
Well, what we might see different this time around is maybe Origen opt to first pick on their rotation the Kha'Zix, if Misfits Academy go for the Lulu again, because that's what they've been doing. There's the Shen ban. That's a change up. So they've actually left the Graves open.
And this tells you that they're comfortable in a lot of these matchups. Lee Sin's available, Graves is up, so Misfits Academy again. Lulu is the call here because there's enough junglers available. You don't have to rush that. Origen, it tells you they are not comfortable playing into the Shen, which not many teams are available or are comfortable playing into it.
There's the Graves locked in for Origen. Syncroft will have that. Now we have to see what they also pick up.
Varus here, or Ashe, one of the two. I think I prefer Varus over everything else. Misfits Academy have been given the Varus in both games. And Origen have not prioritized it. It has been a pick for tabs in the regular split that did okay, and it has been doing so well for Misfits Academy.
Well, you're gonna get your wish this time, Stress. It's locked in on the side of Origen. We'll see what Yuki takes instead of this Varus.
It's not gonna be Kennen. I mean, it'll probably be something like an Ashe, one of these picks that can do quite well. Yuki played a whole bunch of, well, he played 4 champions. Jhin, Varus, Ashe, Ezreal.
Kind of like a lot of junglers in the LCS, so he has that experience. And Pride Stalker, no brainer,
surprise, surprise,
is able to lock in the Kha'Zix on this rotation. Same deal for the Misfits Academy. Still waiting to answer the question of what the AD carry is going to be, see if Misfits pick it up on this round.
Yeah, you got to pick AD carry in this rotation, surely, unless you're comfortable to just pick like an Ezreal later on in the draft.
They could blind their mid if they really want KazQ.
The problem is if you blind mid here, it gets answered by Origen here. So they could pick a safe top laner here, like a Nautilus.
Okay, there we go.
The Nautilus bit was after seeing it. Yeah.
Okay.
But right now, Origen could blind pick mid lane. If they pick Syndra here, there aren't too many options out of Misfits Academy. And Origen can pick mid, then ban 2 mids, and then pick a response to top lane. They also could pick top here and do the same with mid afterwards. There's 2 different options they could go for. We'll see what Origen end up going for.
Oh, laying it on the line. They take the Fizz, and well, you can see that one coming, I guess, if you take a look at Sartorius' summoners.
Yeah. Well, this is where Origen had to themselves think about this and feel like, what do we want to pick up? Do we want the safe mid laner, or do we want the better top lane matchup? Because it's likely that a Rumble or a Fizz would have got banned in ban phase 2. Now we're looking towards mid lane.
Yep, Katarina ban, no surprise. Whenever you're up against KazQ, there's a couple of champs you want to ban out.
Cassiopeia is the next one then.
Shouldn't be surprised. We might see the Ahri come in again, but he's not going to be able to counter pick. Instead, probably get picked against by Neha, and Syndra's still up and available.
And Origen will likely just go for the Karma as the actual first pick off phase 2. If it's available, that is, at the end of this. Obviously, Zyra's taken away.
A few more seconds. There's the Cassio. So, definitely giving the respect enough for that. We'll see what the Misfits Academy last ban's going to be.
And do they ban the Karma? Do they ban Syndra here? Of course, Syndra is the safe blind pickable mid laner. LeBlanc is up for once as well.
That is true. So there's definitely a lot of options for both Nahian and KazQ. I feel like the Karma ban might be something to throw Peke a little bit off. It's going to be a LeBlanc ban, though.
So, Karma here, and then do they let Syndra over? Here's the discussion. You either go Syndra here, pick the safe mid laner for yourself, or you take the Karma here and go Echo if Nahian wants to play it. I don't think it'll be the Akali that we saw earlier. Nahian hasn't shown a propensity towards that champion.
Origen taking their time, and they actually lock in the Nami blind. It's what we saw in game number 1. I know you said it's not going to be, and I'm pretty sure you're right, but Yuki is having a little fun with this one.
But what this provides is disengage for this Varus in the mid lane. They're most likely expecting Misfits to go Syndra, in which they pick Echo, have strong side lanes in the Fizz and the Echo, and then you rely on a champion to disengage in the mid lane. Only thing is, there's a lot of catch on the side of Misfits Academy, and if they do pick up the Syndra here, it means Misfits will look to just force fights.
but they lock the Oriana for CosQ, so they actually have themselves some fairly safe lanes, but when you look at it, you have some more submarine availability here with Pridestalker. Maybe this is where they start to put it more on their jungler in game number 3. Origen, they're going to have to find a mid lane answer. Will it be the Zilean? Nahun's had a few.
He's played it a couple of times. Once, actually, coming into this series.
I mean, he has a pretty deep champion pool that we've seen so far in the split. Maybe not had a lot of success, but when the team's not winning, what can you do?
They're putting it on the Zilean. There's not so much a focus on the side lane. Like, Origen looked like they were picking strong side lane matchups and then had to be forced into a bit more of a team fighting style with this Zilean. I mean, you can obviously resurrect somebody, have a lot of AoE stun and damage potential for Nahun.
But they don't have a front line once again, right? You have the ability to resurrect people, you have a lot of sustain, but if you're talking burst damage between CosQ and Pridestalker, that can get to be a real problem.
And don't underestimate Yuki in this one as well. With no tanks really on the side of Origen, at least no pure tanks, Lucian will be very, very strong at cutting through most Origen members here. So this is where this Lucian won't particularly fall off as hard as we normally would see.
Yes, indeed. Some last-minute words from the coaches as they shake hands for what could be the final time today. For Unlimited, he couldn't be happier with what's happened so far, but will Origen find a way to come back into this game? They'd have to pull the reverse sweep, and if you think they can do it, we want to hear from you. Hop on Twitter, #OGWin if you believe in Peke and the boys. But if you think Misfits Academy are cruising their way to a date with Fnatic Academy, well, #MFA win. We'll find out who takes this one as we're getting ready to load up onto the Rift. Game 3, it could be a quick series. Let's find out who takes it.
This would be really tense if Origen could hear this. But they can't.
Yep. Once those headsets go on, all you can hear are your teammates, and it's important. All right, looks like we'll be taking a quick pause, so the tenseness remains.
Maybe they could hear it. No, they can't.
Not this time.
So, when we look at this, I feel like Misfits Academy, I like their draft quite a lot. I think they got a very solid top laner, although the Fizz is picked into it. I think if Sartorius has a similar performance to game 1, it'll be a rough time for him. I think they got a decent matchup in the mid lane. And this AD carry matchup, I want to keep my eyes again on Yuki. See if Lucian Lulu can just bully around Tabs and Peke. The problem is Varus Nami has a lot of lane presence as well in its own right.
All right, it looks like quick issue resolved, but we are getting ready to go into the game. So it was just a tense moment, always going to be. Backs against the wall, Origen are hoping to climb out of this 2-game deficit. Will it all begin? The comeback, right here, right now, they need it. They're loading up once again onto Summoner's Rift.
Origen are in a very rough spot. Misfits Academy, surely in this break, they just said to themselves, all we gotta do is what we've been doing this entire series long. For the most part, they have looked in control of all of the games. A little bit messy here and there throughout, but Misfits Academy with 2-0 right now. Great situation to be in up against Origen.
Yes, indeed. Starting off, OG. Don't seem too worried in the bottom lane, having a giggle. Or rather, it's Dreams and Yuki. They're having a laugh in that.
Yeah, with one of the most annoying laughs in the game.
Yeah, it's not the most annoying, but it's up there.
One of.
I think the other one, I think the most annoying has got to be Lux.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair. So, quiet start to this one.
We had that last time around, though.
Yep.
And honestly, Misfits, 2 games in a row now, have found an opening to not just exploit, but to explode.
And Tabs and Peke have really struggled in the laning phase. Got harassed down heavily by Yuki and Dreams. Pushed under tower. Didn't really have a great start. This game, we'll see if it can be any different. They obviously have a sustained lead with this Nami. They can punish Dreams, get him to use a lot of those potions early. And they have got this early push. You can see Dreams and Yuki, they won't hit 2 at the same time. those early trades against Lulu can really affect how the rest of the lane goes. If you can force those potions down, you can get a good advantage.
Yes, they can. Taking a look at how things are all starting out, though, we talked about at the beginning of the series how important it was going to be to get ahead early on, especially for Misfits Academy, Pridestalker in particular. But now they've got a lot of scaling, right? Like, you have Lucian who's going to be able to be pretty impactful in the mid-game, especially without these tanks on the lineup, as you stated. Pridestalker has actually been able to not be the one involved in everything to start the game off, because Misfits Academy haven't had two bad laning phases, maybe minus the mid, but KazQ's been opting into bad lanes anyways.
It's been quite different from Misfits Academy to how they played against Schalke. A lot of teams looked at the strength of Misfits Academy, and so much of it came from Pridestalker, some of it came from the team being able to work together well as a unit. I think Jisu's looked better this series than perhaps the Schalke series.
Syncroft gonna find Pridestalker out in his own jungle here. Not really going to affect too much. It has been a vision game. I think both junglers definitely very wary of each other at the moment, not wanting to really make any huge plays for fear of getting jumped on. Still hard when you're trying to clear minion waves, still a little bit low health. And when you talk about Graves, it's always a jungler that you want to give a little bit more time to. Level 6 when he can really start to get damage with the collateral. Jisu taking a blast cone for no apparent effect, but that's okay.
He's trying to deny it, at least, from Syncroft.
We've seen this before. Yuki getting the better of most trades, but he's a little bit low compared to Tabs. The focus was all on Peke. Here's Syncroft around the middle.
And looking for a gank mid, will not be able to force the flash out of KazQ. Oh, they got the stun.
Bomb. Oh, he has to burn it.
Yep.
KazQ playing advance, has to burn a quick summoner. Nice gank by Syncroft.
Yeah,
didn't that first blood, but still.
KazQ didn't pop the ghost early. Thought he was out in enough time. But double bomb comes down, catches him for the stun. KazQ a little greedy, having a flash out anyway. Got to keep our eyes bot lane again. Like, look at the trading damage down onto Peke. Peke's trying to win the trade on the backside, but unfortunately, Lucian double tap, Lulu passive makes it very tough. But it's the farm advantage and the sustain advantage that maintains in Origen's favor. However, mid lane is where we're getting the first action.
Turnabout's fair play here, and that's first blood and a flash to boot. Nahan goes down.
Looked like a late flash out of Nahan. KazQ was moving aggressive. Pridestalker hadn't been spotted by the looks of things. Nahan doesn't respect it, flashes out before that ultimate was available. Couldn't survive.
Fortunately, he's crying. Tier picked up right now. It'll be some time before he can stack that one up, and Pridestalker is actually making moves into the jungle of Syncroft, spotting him with the Krugs.
Oh, look how low Sartorius is here now.
Jisu's in there.
Misfits Academy can't capitalize on this because it can't go 2v2 under the tower, but Pridestalker just taking away the Krugs right in front of Syncroft. It's gonna be a little frustrating for the former LVP jungler.
Pridestalker is waiting, seeing if he can get the bait off, but it's hard to dive a Fizz under tower. Still only level 5, so he does not have access to the fish. But Misfits Academy, they're going to be calm, they're going to be calculated, and they're not going to take any overly risky plays just yet.
They were looking to see whether Jisu could maybe land a hook, because remember, no flash on Fizz means that once you get the Playful Trickster down, Fizz has a whole lot less survivability. If we could have seen that, it would have been okay, but Misfits Academy couldn't get it under the tower, so they just decided to back away. Don't want to go overly aggressive, maybe, you know, don't want to give a kill over to that Fizz instead.
Well, that would definitely not be a great start to the game for sure. Jisu taking no chances on the early game. He's gone full Lord of the Rings. Kick things off, and he even has a null magic mantle to make sure he's going to be able to match Sartorius pound for pound, who teleported back up to the top. Meanwhile, down bottom, Yuki's taken low, and KazQ and Syncroft running into each other, flashing away from the shockwave. All right, that got a little weird.
Yeah, that got very strange. Syncroft was forced to flash. KazQ used his ultimate. Very weird turn of events. Yuki is quite low, doesn't have any real sustain left available, but Tabs is out of mana, so we can't punish it. Can't hit like a fully charged Q. Does have heal, obviously, for Yuki and Flash. So it would have been avoidable. Now they're going to recall out. You can see this Varus, this Nami, has so much potency in the lane. The sustain advantage into the Lulu, plus the damage and push power that comes out of this Varus. This is why Misfits were drafting the Varus in games 1 and 2. And now finally, Origen have taken it away.
Yeah. Took a couple of games to really learn the lesson, but so far so good. It's a slim lead for Misfits Academy based off of that first blood gold, but that's about it. And we're seeing Origen really start to play the map a lot better right now. And with Sartorius going in, he clears the scrying orb, or scrying bloom, I should say, and make sure that there's nobody anywhere near that jungle. Jisoo kind of arrived a little bit late to not really scout much out, but it has definitely been still a quiet game, relatively speaking. Both players, or both teams, really trying to just pass each other out without having to really make any big all-in plays.
Once again, the Pridestalker is up a significant amount of gold.
Because he's stealing it away from Synchron.
Okay.
He's taking his lunch money.
Yeah, he is. He is counter-ganking him, counter-jungling him a lot. But it's the third game in a row where Synchron has not been able to show up as much as Pridestalker, and this is, you know, as we said, this is only, what, his 7th game on stage here.
Yeah. I mean, that's really impressive when you think about it. The guy is very, very young, just meeting the minimum age, 17 years old. He was putting out Rengar highlight reels when he was 13.
Yeah, I remember, I believe it was a post on Reddit he made about streaming, and he was 13 years old as Rengar, and everyone from Reckless and like the EU Challenger players were all talking about how this Rengar one trick was just crushing them. And it's 4 years on now, and finally he's making his way onto the LCS stage, and you can see that, I mean, if the likes of Perks and Senkux of this generation, perhaps Pridestalker is the next generation of player. I'm excited to see where the next couple of years can lead him. I mean, I don't want to put him on too much of a pedestal right now, but he certainly doesn't look phased by being on stage.
Well, let's hope Jisoo maybe doesn't get too phased by what's going down on the top. Sartorius keeping on him. The anchor is not going to fly. Sartorius getting the kill now, and meanwhile down bot, Yuki unloads a full clip into Peke, who's able to limp out. That is still an equalizing kill up in the top side. KazQ coming back to the scene of the crime to see if he can pull something off. He has Shockwave up and available, but OG are walking out of this.
And this is important because KazQ didn't want this tower to go down. They actually will deny any force on the teleport from Jisoo there as well. One of the things you've got to be careful of when playing up against the Graves is the fact that he moves in, gets a kill, takes the tower behind the corpse, and that can't happen if Oriana's already roamed up towards the top side, clears the wave. Jisoo now has his teleport available for a little while Sartorius does not. And it denies Sartorius some experience in the wave. I mean, he just got experience from a kill, so it's not that much of a big play, but
yeah,
it's nice for Misfits.
Yeah, it definitely is, but Origen, they can definitely be banking on Sartorius to come up big in some of these fights, and maybe they don't have the biggest of front lines, but all right, Graves will have some tankiness. They'll have some depth denial with the Zillion. Origen have been wanting to take fights this whole series, and if they can get even and unscathed relatively into the mid game, we could see a very different style of play.
And that's where the kill for Fizz comes up dividends, because they need Sartorius to be ahead. They need him to be able to duel everybody in this game, to just walk through Jisoo and not care that he's in that lane. And now that he's got a kill, Sheen is there building further down the path. I want to see whether Sartorius, with so much on his shoulders now, in the last potential game for Origen in this best of 5, whether he can carry. Because if he can't carry this game with the rest of Origen, Origen find themselves in the losers bracket against Giants.
Yep. Would not want to end up there after 3 quick games. Well, I say quick, but all the same, 3 games without being able to pick one up does not do a whole lot of wonders for your confidence. But maybe Sartorius can pull this one off. Talked about them maybe scrimming against Fnatic and seeing the power of the cannon. Well, maybe this is a Splice special. Of course, Fizz has been coming up and up all across the board. Now Sartorius going in onto Jisoo.
Misfits
but Pridestalker and KazQ are here. Teleport going to be matched right now, and there's the Earth, but Sartorius is in a 1v3. He hops, he skips, he jumps, he goes down, but Nehun has his back, and all of a sudden it is a 3v3, but there's a Shockwave sending out the depth charge, gets a big knockup, but collateral onto 3 members of Misfits Academy. Meanwhile, down bottom, Chains of Corruption had locked up Yuki and Dreams. A bubble will keep Dreams up in stasis, and there's another calling onto Tabs. Last couple of shots, not enough to deal the damage, and nobody dies out of that one, but Origen clearly coming up with the advantage with the teleport on the minion. They should get first tower blood.
Yeah, they should be able to take this down with the 3 of them there. Origen finally make a play on top side. They've somewhat abandoned the playstyle they had previously. Now running double teleport are able to compensate for the extra Misfits members up there, and they've been able to at least win the bot lane for now out of the laning phase. This is a better game out of Origen. They've got a nearly 2,000 gold lead against Misfits, and we're only 12 minutes in.
Yeah, this is a big lead for Origen right now. While the rest of the games had started a lot slower, and if anything with small leads on the Misfits Academy side, Origen now started to turn it around. 1 kill on the Fizz, first tower blood. Sartorius is unafraid to push deep here because he's got wards all over this topside jungle.
Exactly, and this is where Misfits Academy got punished for that Nautilus while Fizz was still available. Now, of course, we haven't particularly seen Fizz from Sartorius. He didn't play it in the regular split and opted more towards tanks and rumble. Those were like the 2 styles that he was playing. It was less about this side lane carry mentality that we've seen in recent weeks, but clearly Sartorius picking this up, putting it in his arsenal, can play it against the likes of a Nautilus. It's not the most difficult laning phase to play out, but he is thriving in this compared to the previous games.
Well, we said we wanted to see something a little bit different in picks and bans, and that's definitely been the X factor to start this game off. It is a 1,500 gold advantage over to Origen, and what can Misfits Academy do to combat it?
That's the golden question. They need a team fight. They need a decent team fight as we get later on. It's a little early for that. If they can, however, combo Pride Stalker with the Shockwave and Jisoo's threat with his crowd control, that really is what Misfits Academy will be looking for. Problem is they now lost top tower. Makes it difficult for Jisoo to deny Sartorius anything, so Sartorius will gradually get further and further ahead until until Misfits Academy make a play.
Well, they did make a play on the Dragon. That's kind of been the signature. Pride Stalker going in and taking one out, but this time it was only the Ocean Drake. That is critical if they want to try to take these skirmishes, but as you said, they might want to be waiting a little while before they end up taking fights against this Origen squad.
Yeah, and Origen, they have decent fighting themselves. I mean, we already have seen the threat from Graves, the chrono break or chrono shift from Nahian.
Talk about side wave pressure. That's going to be a big one, but right now Pride Stalker in a 2v2, but the teleport hasn't completed yet. That's a lot of damage onto Tabs.
He's out.
But he is gotten out, and now Jisoo with his teleport, they're going to have to try and settle to take down a tower. The wave wasn't quite there yet. Meanwhile, Rift Herald is going to go the way of Origen, and Sartorius picks it up, so he's going to be a real terror to deal with.
Yeah, it makes him very scary now. Of course, damage reduction, additional damage for himself. That's an important one. This Fizz is really going to put pressure down onto Jisoo, and what that means is Misfits need to somehow single him out, but it's mid lane that's getting singled out right now. Kozq has Shockwave available. Origen just walk in. Pride Stalker's here. They have to respect at least that Kha'Zix coming in and the Shockwave being available.
Kozq dodging around the bombs, and now they will back off. Jisoo is trying to back in this River Brush, but Pekka is going to sniff him out. Sends a couple of autos his way, and Origen, they're not able to take down the mid tower, but they did get some serious chip damage onto it. Origen playing a step ahead this game.
Much better out of the 10th place LCS squad. This is a little bit more of perhaps what we were expecting up against Misfits Academy. Of course, 4th place in the regular split out of 6 teams in Challenger, but dominant victory over Schalke, and a strong first 2 games in this series has maybe made a lot of people reassess Misfits Academy coming into this.
Quite possibly. All the same, Origen are managing to take it to him, and the few early game advantages Misfits really did have got negated here. Syncroft, even though he was denied jungle farm in the beginning, he's caught back up. His gold is actually ahead of what Pride Stalker is able to get right now, and a lot of that's off the back of towers and participating in those kills. Yeah,
a lot of the farm disparity was caught up by the fact that Syncroft was walking into lanes and just kind of pushing a tower down.
That's the jungle
with
tax.
The rest of Origen. Yeah, not necessarily tax.
Well, when you get a tower, it's paying for a service.
Right, I was gonna say that's the good kind of tax, where it's just like, oh, I can take this tower down for you. Just walks in, takes the minions, and you're like, okay, I guess that's fine. Does it again. See?
Easy peasy. So 16 minutes, Origen. They've got 2 right now on the board, and Yuki's gonna have to take some jungle of his own. Pride Stalker getting a ward down into the pit. Dragon not going to be up for a while, but Origen are not afraid to push deeper into Misfits territory right now.
They do, however, have to get their mid tower down. We'll see if they can force Kozq back away. That's the difficult one, because Oriana just sits there and just goes, okay, I've got Shockwave. You can't push to the tower. But it's going to be about Sartorius pushing out, moving in through the side of the lane, and taking down that Oriana before they can actually defend the tower.
I mean, not for lack of trying. They've definitely gone in a few times. Once they forced Kozq's flash. The second time they were trying to close the net, but Kozq was able to walk out of it. It's such a stark difference in how he's played on this Orianna when you compare to what we saw in games 1 and 2. Admittedly, it's an Akali and an Ahri game, so, you know, KazQ definitely was like, all right, maybe I don't dive deep every time.
And maybe he doesn't need to go aggressive. Interestingly, Misfits Academy, between games, saw them in the hallway a little bit, seemed to be, you know, obviously very happy after game 2 with the lead. Origen kind of kept themselves to themselves as a unit. Misfits were making a little bit more noise in between games.
And I on stage as well.
I hope that means they're not taking their mind off it, because it looked like some of their social team were here as well, catching the eye of the players in between, you know, getting them for photos and that kind of thing. I hope that doesn't mean Misfits Academy aren't taking their eyes off the prize. They have not won this series yet, and Origen are ahead.
Well, Misfits Academy are trying to change that, but yeah, you cannot start celebrating before the series is over. At 18 minutes into this one, they're trying.
Look at Origen making the play on mid here. They're trading top for mid.
Pyratechnics and
This is what they need to do.
There's a shockwave though. Oh, the fish is dodged. There's the ball. It's not enough to really threaten them right now. The tower should go down. Origen, they're striking quickly, and now there's no revenge. Nothing that can really happen here. And meanwhile, down bot, Tabs is on the second-tier turret.
Yeah, it's a worthwhile trade for Origen here, taking down that mid tower. Jizu may just ult Tabs, but nobody from Misfits Academy can actually get in place, so he's going to hold on to that for now. And Origen are looking for the dragon. You can see this is a bit more of a revitalized Origen coming into this game. Misfits Academy struggling to keep up with some of this presence that Sartorius is having and the rest of the OG lineup.
Yeah, picking up now another Ocean Dragon. There'll be an Infernal spawning next. That's still helpful for the regeneration on the OG side. Pyratechnics trying to get a little bit of a quick pick off onto Sartorius, but nothing doing. He Playful Tricksters away, and that Fizz is just going to get scarier and scarier. He has Glimpse of the Void. He's now completed his Trinity Force. Well, let's see what Misfits Academy can do here. Onto mid tower. It's a desperate push-up, but with the double bombs, that's going to clear any chance. Shockwave pulls in too, though, but KazQ just doesn't have enough damage yet with only the Morellonomicon.
And Tab survives, and critically, there is no minion wave here for Misfits Academy. So it means they can slow down any, Origen can slow down any push. Misfits Academy can't utilize what would normally have been enough of a shockwave to take that tower. No minions, no tower, no redemption on the last play for Misfits Academy.
The question is, when is the time they can start to try to take these fights? Baron will be up in 10 seconds, but that's still a while before you could think these teams are going to try to contest it. There's still an outer tower in the mid to contend with for Misfits Academy. When do they start grouping as 5?
For Misfits Academy, I mean, as soon as they decide to stop caring about Sartorius and just try and engage.
That's a dangerous thing to do.
It is dangerous, because he will just take the rest of the base, but the only way that you can really drag him across is by forcing a fight on the rest of the team. Oh, Pege.
Oh, that was close.
Nearly.
KazQ got it, though. Blue buff secured.
Nearly got that Tidecaller's Blessing auto.
That would be a feels bad man, for sure. Origen are focusing up top now. They honestly, they can throw their weight around for a while.
Yeah, and they know that they can push this wave in. And if Yuki and Dream stay here, there is a little bit of danger, but Jizu's dropped back.
He has teleport. There's a ward behind the Origen squad. It's very deep, though.
And KazQ isn't really in place to group yet. They can sense that Origen are pulling back away from the exchange. So Misfits don't just TP early. Don't try and make the play, because Sartorius also has his TP available, so it's not like they would have got that any faster than Origen would have been able to regroup.
Pyratechnics sniffing around for Synkrov. Throws down the smoke screen, and he had his team at his back, so nothing doing there. Vision controlled by Origen on this side. However, there is Scuttle Vision for Misfits Academy.
But Sartorius, he's going to eat through this tower if you let him. Will hit W, auto the tower. It's really hard to deal with.
Well, let's see what he can get done. Playful Trickster is down for now, but Jisoo just doesn't have the damage on this tanky Nautilus. Pridestalker caught up in the bubble. Synkrov does not want to go too deep for him here. Dreams is at his back. It's the Ward Wars around this Baron pit, but all things considered, Origen, they can keep the pressure down on bot, and if everything else stays equal, this is a win for them.
Yeah, it is for now. I mean, Sartorius has dropped back now, so Misfits have to be careful. Every time those top laners drop out of vision, there's always a potential teleport play coming through. Yeah,
there's 2 teleports to contend with on the side of Origen. We talked about it last game with Misfits Academy, but Nahun are also rocking it. Still, he needs a lot of time before he can become a huge Zillion still trying to stack up on the tier, working his way towards the Saros, but he's also got a Morellonomicon and cooldown boots. Mid tower was the focus, but between Tabs and Nahun, it's pretty easy to clear the wave away.
Yep, even the cannon minion gets cleared out easily. And that's where Origen have a lot of benefit here. They're just going to keep putting Sartorius out on the side wave. Keep trying to get him out. Get as much damage as you can. So towers, hey, an extra level.
Why not?
Can't hurt.
Yeah. I mean, Sartorius is definitely the big threat right now, but it seems like we're settling in for a long one. Stress.
But this is what Misfits Academy need to bank on. Sartorius coming up to this wave, and Pridestalker being there too. If it's a 2 versus 1, Sartorius won't fare as well. That does, however, open the other side of the map. As soon as Pridestalker shows, Origen may very well rush to the Baron.
Oh, this is
and
risky.
Look at how positioned they are. There's pings going down already because Misfits Academy know Origen could have been on it, and Pridestalker recalled.
Did not want to give an opportunity for Origen to try and rush down a Baron. They'd be in much better position than when they last tried to do that this series. Bombs on the minions, dodged out by Yuki, who's continually put on wave clear duty. He hasn't really had the chance to get up in the face of anyone from Origen and try to do enough damage to pick up a kill. Misfits still focused on this mid side. Jisoo tanking a bomb as he takes the blast cone escape. And they're in position, but they don't have the minion wave just yet. Nahun's still here, though, already, and he's got Peke at his back. Let's see if this is enough to finish off the tower. Misfits showing 5. Sartorius coming up.
Yeah, Sartorius roaming up. Oh, Tabs is top lane. They don't have everybody here.
Oh, but that's a big
Big
wave clear.
shockwave.
Oh, a huge shockwave right now out of Cosq, but they can't finish off any members. And meanwhile, Dreams is going to have to flash out as Earth comes up to take a bite out of his health bar. Nahun and Peke burning low, but meanwhile, Tabs has free time on the tower.
Again, no minion wave, though, means that Misfits Academy, despite getting a big shockwave, can't really capitalize.
It's so close every time.
Yeah.
But now they're back on mid here. Let's see if they can get the clear off. The bomb's coming in once again. Now they have enough damage to get the job done. But meanwhile, Tabs is still having his way with the top tower with just enough arrows in his quiver. He's going to answer back. That's an inner for an outer.
Yeah, and they obviously have had to, survive through the threat of Sartorius being in the bot lane. Pridestalker went down there. Infernal Drake coming up in 10 seconds. If Synkrov and Sartorius want to get that one, it should be an easy take for them. Misfits Academy finally got that mid tower, though.
Yep. Clear Scuttle Vision. They've got themselves a ward. It's a pretty big setup right now. Pridestalker has to be careful. He sees Sartorius out, who hops, skips, and jumps away. This might buy just enough time for Misfits Academy to get in position. Shockwave just comes off cooldown. It will be very critical right now to try and win a team fight. Misfits Academy, they want to be able to secure this dragon. It's critical for their team fighting ability. 8% AD and AP is nothing to sneeze at at this lineup. Now Sartorius is caught out by Jisoo, but Tabs is there. They're going to try to even the odds right now. Peke's right at his back. Jisoo might be tanky, but not quite enough. There's Chains of Corruption on and a bubble. Pridestalker coming in, and Jisoo tabs his way out right now. Oh boy, can he live though? The Command Protect is on, and they delete Peke now. It's Tabs and Sartorius. Flashes burn on both sides. Tabs going low, isolated. That's a double kill for Cosq. And now the Dragon might be the next objective on the menu.
Nahun didn't TP in. Synkrov wasn't in position either, so Origen did not have the numbers to deal with that exchange in the bot lane. Sartorius managed to get himself out, but in came Peke to try and keep him alive. In came Tabs. It looked like maybe they were going to kill Jisoo to start things off, but Jisoo survived. And the rest of Misfits Academy finally punishing Origen on one of these exchanges. Here you go. This was Jisoo looking for Sartorius. They thought 2 versus 1. Maybe this is what would get them the win here, but Tabs, Peke coming down. Look, Synkrov and Nahun are in the mid lane, and there's no TP that comes out from Nahun because they think it's a 3v2 and that they've already won. But then the damage comes through onto Origen. Nahun running down because he's close enough. The TP probably would have taken too long to channel at that point anyway, and the fight is already done. Cosq picks up 2 kills. Misfits Academy get themselves the Infernal.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for this team, and even though they're down on towers and they've been losing, having minion waves pushed against them, they come up with a critical fight. They even out the goal game or near enough, and they get themselves an all-important Infernal. Let's see what Misfits Academy can do next. Pings onto the Baron right now. Don't think they'd be rushing it, not with Scuttle Vision, but they can definitely secure up vision of their own.
Double control ward.
That takes a long time to kill. That's calculated. That's 8 hits.
That's why they've done it, just in case the enemy are playing Jhin. Or actually, Graves has to reload, what, 4 times?
I remember there was like a game where we were watching it, and I think it might have been NA, The casters were just counting every shot.
Double, like the quadra reload necessary.
You do not bring a shotgun to a ward clearing fight.
Depends how big wards are really, like in scale.
I'm just saying, double pistols work a lot better.
Yeah.
See, look, there, he's got help though. It's not fair.
That's a bow and arrow and a spatula for cooking that's in the shape of earth.
Man, wards just don't hold up.
Are they like flies? Just Nami's going around swatting them.
Golden spatula, man.
It is a spatula, isn't it? It's a ridiculous skin.
That's a ridiculous thing. But what can he? I mean, what can he do? We also have a champion in the game who has a giant anchor he smacks people with.
That's less ridiculous.
Only a little bit. All right, Pride Stalker is waiting to make a very unridiculous play. Misfits Academy still stacking pretty thick around this Baron.
You know
but
what's
they're not going to commit to it. What is it, Stress? What's ridiculous?
Ninja Tabby.
How
many in this game? Already 4 of them.
It's the League of Tabbies.
You know it's bad when there are 80 carries building it, right? Like the amount of you know, protection you get from that.
When you're building it against an Oriana too. But I guess you need every bit you can have to stop against the damage that Pride Stalker and Yuki can bring out. They've been fairly critical in this series, but yeah, Kozku has definitely had a different kind of impact in this game. That Oriana is only getting scarier and scarier. May not have been able to insta-delete anybody in the earlier stages of the game, but you know, he's 3 items in. Void Staff on top of the Melonomicon and the Luden's Echo, and you know, if the Death Cap's coming next, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it really will. Misfits Academy are the ones with the advantage on the kills. They've found a couple more fights, but Origen, their focus on towers from the early game has started to slow. Sartorius has not been dominating this matchup as hard as you would expect. This Nautilus has been able to contain him later on. A lot of the time, Fizz becomes unmanageable.
Yeah. And after the Trinity Force, he's of course gone for a much more defensive path, right? The Spirit Visage completed. He's got himself a Chain Vest. I think he might be working his way towards Guardian Angel. He's definitely going to be a terror on the side lanes, but Jisoo has honestly been able to hold him from getting any more damage on the tower, and that's been the problem right now. The 4-1 just hasn't been working for Origen for the last few minutes, and now as we get closer and closer to that 30-minute mark, a fight can mean Baron very easily, and the fish is spent. Kozku is able to ghost his way out. He's almost got Flash back up and available, and Origen have stalled a bit.
Missed opportunity for the LCS squad. Of course, match point on this series.
Can't afford to lose. I mean, that's the stakes. Very high right now. You're not out of the LCS with this loss. However, you then have to go against Giants, who you couldn't beat during the regular split, who, honestly, are probably looking to take out some frustration against whoever they go up against.
Yeah, I mean, they fell yesterday to Fnatic Academy. Obviously, the Fnatic Academy choice for Giants means Misfits Academy play against Origen. You have to feel like Giants, it was a much closer series against Fnatic Academy, but also people anticipated that Giants were going to be the better team in the promotion tournament out of the LCS squads. Origen had only won 2 individual games the entire split.
And it was honestly a little strange to see, even though Fnatic Academy had such an experienced lineup, that Giants were the ones that picked them because they didn't want to go up against the team that stopped the Schalke tank in its tracks. Right now, Misfits Academy are showcasing a different type of play than what we saw with the get Pride Stalker ahead strat, but it's no less effective. Syncroft stopped up for a second, bombs on. Pride Stalker going in, looking for Syncroft. Speaking of the jungler, he's forced to flash away. Well, Pride Stalker's gonna walk it out, but that's some summoners burned, and Sartorius is looking to come up towards this top side, but there's pings already for the Baron. Do they have enough to do it? Syncroft does not have his flash, but he's still alive. He's not backed away. Misfits Academy, they're looking to bait this one. Jisoo not in the picture, but he has teleport.
Yeah, the Misfits Academy, they're trying to just box Origen in as much as they can, but the problem is, you can see, Origen aren't really taking any of these plays around here. There's slow and steady out of Origen. They're not pushing forward. It's an even game right now. Misfits Academy push back out the side waves.
Difference makers. Who will it be this time around? The Cloud Drake's up and available, but that's not the objective. Everybody is pinging on the Baron, and take a quick step back and take a look at the 80 carries, because that is Guinsoo's Rageblade I spy on the Varus.
This is something we've seen a lot in the NALCS specifically. Apollo's been playing it a whole bunch. Of course, a lot of attack speed, a lot of on-hit.
Get your mix damage in as well, and
Yeah,
that's something that Tabs can have to work with.
And of course, once you stack it up, you start triggering those on-hit effects multiple times, so...
Ooh, Synkrov. He's got to be careful.
Oh,
no death now, but Sartorius, he
Sartorius.
flanked around the side. Kozki's going to have to flash away. The chains are on. Collateral, everything flying his way, but he's not dead just yet. Finally, Nahun blows him up. Jisoo and Yuki on the retreat path. The Culling gets unloaded. Nahun going to get caught. He's got his own ulti on. He's going to stay alive for now. Jisoo's still on the front, but Pridestalker looking to close the net on the backside. Finds Pecky. Does he have the damage? Hop skipping, jumping, it's Sartorius. They're able to take out Dreams, and now looking for Jisoo, who's going right back into base. Pridestalker just never found an in. And now Origen are the ones that are knocking on the front door. They take down the inner tower and mid, looking for an in-hit tower.
Too many high health targets meant Pridestalker couldn't find himself a kill, and Sartorius, he has the Guardian Angel. He had jumped into the fight. They take out KozQ, and there was no more damage left for Misfits Academy. Yuki was dropped so low, he had to respect just how much Origen could catch up to him. Forced to flash, forced to heal, dash out of that fight. Misfits Academy, for the first time this series, look like they're on the ropes in Game 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of wards right there inside of their own base. Origen know exactly what's going on. Misfits Academy pinging desperately towards the Baron pit, but Origen are doing the same, and they have all 5 members up and ready, whereas KozQ and Dreams are actually just trying to make their way up there. Wards getting cleared out. Origen know that Misfits are not going to start this just yet, and 5v5 may not be advisable given how that last engage went down.
And a lot of the fact of that last engage, this KozQ couldn't do too much. Didn't have the right setup for Misfits Academy, and it looks like Origen have paused the game for now.
Get some word on the cause of the pause in just a moment. But in the meantime, it might be a low-kill game, 3-3, being 34 minutes in. However, it's a very tense situation right now. As you said it, for the first time, Misfits Academy in this series look like they're on the ropes. And honestly, we expected to see a little bit more of their 5v5 team fighting.
We expect to see some more, yeah. And we haven't seen that many fights at all this game.
A few skirmishes, a couple of missed shockwaves. Hey, you know, what can you do? It seems like Misfits Academy played a little bit more careful, I want to say. There were moments when Pridestalker might have been able to go a little deep, but it wasn't a sure thing. And instead of going for the 50-50, he actually backs off.
Yeah, as we are trying to figure out what exactly the issue is. It's Nahun that has paused.
Yep.
We've seen referees and league officials taking a look at the situation for exactly what's going on.
Yep, getting word that is a PC issue for Nahun, so looking into that. League officials going to try to resolve that one as quick as possible. But in the meantime, still, this is the stage of the game where a big fight can start to mean the difference. We've seen 2 back-to-back 40-plus minute games. However, it could definitely turn around very quickly, and Origen have a lot more tools to survive long, sustained fights.
They have more, yeah. That Zillion is able, obviously, to keep one person alive. Whether it's Sartorius, whether it's Tabs. I feel like Tabs has looked way more comfortable on this Varus. We mentioned it, game 1 and 2, he played Kennen. Did not look as good. Now we've got the Varus available. He's able to win the laning phase, transition that into a lot of damage coming through in the fights, and have a lot of effect with the crowd control coming through for it as well.
Yep. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the plays that just transpired while we're trying to sort out the issue on stage. And it was a team fight that resulted after the fact of an Oriana ball that just went a little out of range.
Yeah, KozQ didn't quite connect on that shockwave, and as this fight continued, this was the one where you'd eventually see Sartorius come into the fight. KozQ's shockwave was back up available for this fight, but Sartorius right on top of him, forces the flash early, chains of corruption land. KozQ didn't get anything. Still had shockwave at the end of this fight. At least that's what the indicator's telling me. Maybe it had been used earlier. I know we saw the shockwave to start this replay, but I feel like it's
a low cooldown. It's actually hard to say, but either way, he wasn't able to do anything because he never got a chance, even if he had it, never got a chance to really initiate the windup. And you could see where it was with Pridestalker. He just didn't have a chance to try to get in there and make a big play. I mean, the only low health target was Sartorius, who's rocking a Guardian Angel. So what can you do? Looks like the pause is resolved right now, so we'll be getting back in the game right quick.
We will be. I'm going back to double check that cooldown.
All right, well, you do that.
The game.
We'll take a look at what's going to happen next. Origen, 3 members sitting around this Baron. There has been a whole lot of killed wards in this game, especially around that pit. Misfits Academy, they're just trying to hold on in the mid, see whatever they can get to just try to keep this game within their reach. I mean, it's not a huge gold difference for being 35 in, but there's a downed inhibitor in middle. They've got to keep pushing the wave back out for some time.
So the replay was correct. There was about a quarter of the cooldown left when cosQ died.
Okay.
So could not get the shockwave off because it wasn't there. Misfits now going to start this Baron. They've seen Nation bot lane, but there is a TP.
Jesus, dying quickly. Yeah, but Sartorius is around the side. They're going to peel away from it here. Not going to take this fight as Nahun was speeding his way in. Tabs is going to get the level up. Just a second, not quite.
Bot tower should fall, though, in exchange for this. Minions will take it. Nahun
forcing out his ultimate. The Chains of Corruption are on, and the Shockwave is not going to be enough to take down anybody but Pridestalker. Trying to get one. He gets Tabs, but does he have enough for any more? There's a shield out. Peke low, Sartorius, Synkrov, all of them bleeding health bars as Jisoo on the front line, still trying to tank it all off. cosQ is narrowly going to escape with his life, and so is Pridestalker. 4v5. But Origen on the offensive.
Look at how low Origen are. It means they can't really play too aggressive, but they're trying to stop recalls here, trying to allow those super minions to push into the base. It means Misfits Academy cannot go for the Baron themselves. And Origen, a little bit of a bad team fight for them, but it's not too painful on the other side of it. They get half the health of this Nexus turret down. That will obviously regenerate. But they deny any Baron attempt out of Misfits Academy.
Misfits really decided to pull the trigger quick, and it forced a reaction from Origen. All the same, still having to maintain what's going on in the mid lane. It's going to be hard for Misfits to really try to take a huge fight. And the vision game has been scattered around the map here. Wards for Origen that were inside the base of Misfits Academy have expired, so there's no chance of any trick plays. A Pridestalker, he might be caught out for just a second, but he should be able to walk away cleanly. Throw down the smoke screen, says Synkrov, as they get the double control ward inside the pit. And the Baron vision is covered by Misfits, or by Origen for the time being.
Misfits need to stop this push from Sartorius somehow. The problem is if they commit to it, OG do just turn for the Baron. At least they need to get the Guardian Angel from Fizz if they want to be able to at least maintain position and some of their potency in fights. I mean, you can see Origen look to go aggressive. Tabs back and forth on this fight. This is a replay, eventually getting caught out. Nahun forced to ult himself from this one. I believe live, we actually have Misfits Academy looking to go towards the Baron here.
Oh, round two. All right, Jisoo trying to hold here. TP. Teleport expended. Misfits instantly peeling off. The anchor doesn't connect.
This is the second TP they've got like this, though. They deny the push. That tower did not fall earlier when Nahun TP'd up. However, Origen have the path down mid lane. They've once again forced Misfits Academy out of their base. I don't think they'll look to actually rush down the Nexus towers on this, but Misfits Academy is going to try and find a fight. They need to get damage down from cosQ here.
Bomb
could be a big knockup.
Oh, they're going to go in for it.
Shockwave!
What a massive shockwave right now. 3 members collapsing. Nahun is able to stay alive by virtue of his ultimate, but he's going down twice all the same. Synkrov limping away. Sartorius nowhere to be found, trying to cut the legs off the wave.
And not only that, he's going to try and get in there and deal with the Nexus towers. Misfits Academy know, though, with only 2 people remaining, Origen cannot defend both the Baron play and go aggressive onto the base. Synkrov, if ever there was a game to get a steal off, he's going to need it here. But look at cosQ blocking. Synkrov's low health already.
Not going to give him a chance.
He's not going to be able to.
Nope, he's taken out. cosQ picks that one up. Meanwhile, triple team of Misfits Academy taking down the Baron. It'll finally fall, and Fizz chased out of the base. This is how it all began. The
ultimate from Jisoo is the crucial point on this, because Origen stack on tabs to try and save him. That allows the position on a beautiful shockwave coming through from cosQ, and that might be the shockwave that eliminates one LCS team from the promotion tournament. If this is a win for Misfits Academy, only one of Giants or Origen even have the chance to stay in for LCS for the summer split.
What a shocker that would be. Misfits Academy on the cusp after a long game that found them on the edge. right now, they're looking to turn around their fortunes. It's only 39 minutes in. And I say only because we've had 40+ minute games here. But they've got the Baron and they've got a new lease.
Of course, the other side to that is that the shockwave that puts Misfits Academy one series away from the LCS themselves?
Might
because
just be.
Double elimination, 2 wins and you're in, 2 losses and you're out.
Yep.
Misfits Academy, 1 game win away from being in that winner's bracket final.
Got to give some credit to Yuki, though, because he was stacking callings, and finally it paid off big to combo up with KazQ. Maybe he got the kills and the glory, but Yuki definitely coming up big, and we talked about this Lucian being very important against a tankless team.
Yeah, although Sartorius has had to build a little bit more towards the tank. Origen have been struggling. Sartorius is quite tanky, trying to come in through the side here. Has Guardian Angel still available, did not get dropped in that fight, but Misfits Academy are going to try and walk these Baron buff minions up, but they've run out. Look at the damage coming down onto the tower, though. Misfits Academy looking to equalize the at least exposed inhibitor. Synchro got caught.
Maybe they can get the game right here. They've got the inhib down, and meanwhile, Sartorius was around the back, but it wasn't going to be enough. He couldn't find it in. KazQ, Pridestalker a little bit low, but Misfits Academy, they're stacking 5 members thick, and Origen cannot get a damn thing. See if they can after the reset here. In goes Sartorius onto Yuki, but they turn around. Playful Trickster back in there, and that's going to be the redemption coming clean. Big gold lead now for Misfits Academy, or bigger than it has been all game for them, and they will continue to get the push on. No Baron empowered minions just yet, but they're knocking on another tower.
They've been playing from behind all game long. Misfits Academy now in control, and both previous games they've been in control, they have closed out with a win. This Misfits Academy have shown carries from multiple roles, and they're looking to close in on a 3-0 victory against Origen. Sartorius is trying desperately to peel Misfits away from the base. But even he can't quite get out on his own.
No, little fish, not going to be enough either. Doesn't connect, but now they found Syncroft once again. He's back inside of his base, but the pain train just keeps on rolling right now. Misfits Academy, they're looking to take out another inhibitor. Sartorius trying the same old tricks, but they will not work twice. He has no ultimate available. His damage threat is limited. They're out of minions on the bottom side, but that's not going to stop Misfits from continuing to clear these waves away.
The damage coming out, though, may very well be enough. 15 seconds on Baron buff means Misfits Academy only have a small window. This is the last minion wave to push in because Q steps up. Here comes the defensive play.
There's the wave.
They get the tower. I think that's it. They'll probably back away here because Origen can look to fight. They want to get the inhib.
Maybe they'll get a little greedy. This is something to be careful about. No, they're not going to finish it off just yet. Chains of Corruption are going to land on everybody. The fish came back up, but not enough to get any more damage except for a little bit onto Pridestalker. Nahun and Sartorius trying to zone away. But now, Origen, they bought themselves some time, but they needed damage control.
And what a difference one team fight can make. We've gone from Origen having super minions pushing on the Nexus towers of Misfits Academy. From what was a great game early on, Sartorius got a kill, a couple more assists, had a CS lead. Everything was in this Fizz's favor, but it didn't grow any larger of a lead. Sartorius is still at 1 kill, has not been able to push Nautilus in because he's had to opt towards a little bit more of a tanky build to try and survive through a lot of these fights. Misfits Academy have drawn Origen multiple times to use teleport to get into fights where Origen wanted to play the side lane.
Misfits Academy. What a comeback for sure, too, because there was so little we could see them doing, but they kept making these proactive plays that forced Origen to respond around the Baron and peeling off at the right time. You don't usually see that level of composure from a Challenger Series team.
Not often. It's certainly not something we see in the regular split of Challenger all that often.
I don't know what happened going up to playoffs. I mean, we talked about them scrimming up against Misfits, but there has to be something more to it because this is a team that, you know, narrowly getting into that 4th place spot and making it all the way to the promotion tournament, they're on the cusp of getting themselves into the winner's bracket. 1 series away from LCS qualification, and it has been a hell of a journey. They're looking good.
It really has. Misfits Academy, everyone counted them out when they drew Schalke, but they made it past the undefeated team. Now facing a winless team coming from the LCS, and Misfits Academy have shown that they are at a minimum better than Origen. Interesting to see how they would place up against the likes of Giants, who narrowly yesterday lost a couple of games, but still fell to Fnatic Academy.
Yeah, they may not see that one, but one last chance for Origen as the inhibitor goes down. The wave comes up, but Yuki just turns it right onto Sartorius here. And Jisoo is tanking through all of this. Ooh. Look at those shields. Shockwave Look at that shockwave. They've got one. Synkrov is not going down just yet, but he had a chrono shift on top of him. Sartorius is forced to Playful Trickster away. And now with some waves of minions, Koskyu going forward. Not enough damage to finish off Nehun, but they found tabs. Back to pushing the rest of Origen go. The Nexus turrets are falling. This looks like it's going to be it. It's a desperate charge for Sartorius, but they just don't have the damage stress. They just can't hang on. Jisoo is still not died. Finally, he goes down. Tabs is going to fall, though, on top of it. Koskyu trying to keep it alive. They're turning around. Price Sucker jumping and leaping. It's only Sartorius, and now he just can't hold on. This is going to be it. 3 wins, 3 explosive performances, and Misfits Academy will sweep the series with an explosion of dynamite.
Big turnaround in that last game for Misfits Academy, taking down Origen. And what a win for the team. Obviously, drawn up against Origen. First 2 games look very, very clean from Misfits. The second game playing from behind up against Origen. But they've done it, 3-0 on the series. They are now 1 series away from making it into the LCS.
What a performance out of this team. Clean, but at the same time, daring, bold, brazen. They make the plays. Origen, they just couldn't respond. And they fall in the series without picking up a single win.
Unfortunately, mimicking the majority of the spring split for Origen, it's been a rough road. And even in the promotion tournament, they continue along the same path. The changes they made didn't quite take effect. It looked better in game 3, but it wasn't enough to salvage the series, and Misfits take the win.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Origen squad, but we will now be guaranteed to have a new team in the LCS come the summer split. Question is now, will it be Misfits Academy, or will it be the Academy team from Fnatic?
See who graduates, see who dons the cap and gown and makes it into the LCS. Well, it's certainly been an up and down road for both Academy teams. Been a very tumultuous split in the spring split. I think everybody had it pegged early on that PSG and Schalke would be the teams making it as the smoke clears, but wasn't meant to be. They couldn't quite get themselves past the rest of the Challenger field in the Challenger playoffs. But at this point, you got to look at Misfits Academy. Good performances against Schalke. Good performances up against Origen now, even coming from behind with that win. And really importantly, they've put themselves 1 series away. Up against Fnatic Academy now is the name of the game. That series will, of course, take place next week. But for Origen and Giants, only one of them can make it back into the LCS. Only one of them can survive with their spot. And it isn't even guaranteed because the second match of the promotion tournament has been completed. We can take a look at the updated bracket as well. First of all, Fnatic Academy versus Misfits Academy. It's a best of 5. Winner goes to the LCS. Giants versus Origen will follow it, and the loser of that will have to play out in the Challenger Series for Summer Split. Very important games, a lot of stakes, of course. The loser of Fnatic Misfits will face the winner of Giants Origen the following day, and that will determine the final LCS team for the Summer Split 2017, of course, the road to Worlds. Origen have been there before, all the way back in 2015. It has been a downward spiral for them since, though, and that makes it a very tough pill to swallow here. Losing against Misfits Academy. Of course, now Misfits Academy trying to replicate the success of the Misfits lineup that made it all the way through Challenger and up into the LCS, find themselves in spot 2 in Group B. In Group A, of course, they face off against Splice from Group B tomorrow. That's the LCS playoffs, but Challenger is nearly done for this split. You can see Fnatic Academy, Misfits Academy remain successful. Of course, that is Fnatic Academy, Misfits Academy will face off against each other Thursday, 13th of April. Both best-of-5 series will take place then. Fnatic Academy, Misfits Academy, winner goes to LCS. Giants versus Origen. Loser is out of the promotion tournaments. It's a massive day, 2 best-of-5s. Make sure you mark your calendar because that will affect the landscape of the EU LCS for the summer split. For more on that series win from Misfits Academy, Pyra is ready with a man behind those game-winning shockwaves.
Thank you very much, Tress, and if I may say, great cast on the day. But I'm joined by the man in the mid lane, KozQ. Dude, how do you feel about a 3-0 performance?
I feel it was like, the games were like really, I would say a bit clown fiesta. So I'm not that happy about the performance, but like they were not, about my performance myself, I wasn't like that happy about it the first 2 games. The first game, not at all. But overall, my team played pretty well. So, and I think we just had better mechanics than them in team fights. So that's why we kind of won the game. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
and better decision making, even though it was like really clutch. So
you came up pretty big when it counted, and you know, importantly, those shockwaves were pretty big in game 3. But even in game 1 and 2, you picked the Akali, you picked the Ahri. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, well, the Akali I played in scrims against Syndra's, and it worked out really, really well for me. But this Syndra played barrier, and they had like Kennen as well, and I couldn't play that aggressive as I wanted because she was like playing on her tower and stuff. And when I went to the side lane, they put Kennen there with Lee Sin and Nami, and I didn't see it coming, and yeah, it was just it was really hard to jump in as well because Kennen had stuns, and you would get like CC locked, and then Akali's not really great into that, so.
Well, the important thing is to be able to at least have fun, and you still manage to pick up the victories, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you know, you're a guy that's definitely no stranger to having played at the top level at Challenger and getting your way close to the LCS. Now that you're on the cusp of doing it, how big is that for you?
I've always like finished, I mean, I finished my study, and I've always played Challenge Series next to that, and I always wanted to just experience LCS, and I'm done with my study, and we're like really close to LCS. I really just want to make it and experience how everything is, so I hope next week we can win as well and take a shot at the LCS experience.
How confident do you feel going up against Fnatic Academy? That's winning in, man.
I think I'm pretty confident, actually, if we just play how we play. If we play like really focused and stuff, and if we play together and communicate well, I think we can win them. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out, and congratulations once again on your victory, KozQ.
Thank you.
All right, that's all. That's all for us. We're going to go ahead and sign off for now, but don't forget to tune in tomorrow as the quarterfinals kick off with the clash between Splice and Misfits. The action all starts at 5 p.m. CEST as the road to Hamburg continues. We'll see you there.